Yes, and welcome to Village Garden, folks. I'm in a potato patch here trying to clean it up because the weeds have grown out of control and I've dropped my glasses again. Anyway, it is potato season harvesting. If you haven't done so already, you should have, but everything's so late this year. You see, this is just for this little patch here, and there's a lot of seed potato in here still that I haven't pulled out. See all the little baby ones in there? There's a heap in that corner, there's a heap under here that I've got to dig out. I'm probably standing on about another 2 or 3 kilos of potatoes under my feet here. Desiree's, Nikolai's, Russet, what else is there? Pontiac. We're getting them all ready for availability online, organically grown. This is not just the patch that we grow them in, obviously, this is a weed infested patch, but we've got plenty of potatoes coming along, so check them out. But today what we're talking about, the big Malaka. I'm going to harvest the biggest one I got there. Well, I think I've actually harvested a bigger one. Already ate that one, but let's go and check out this one. Have a look at this. Tomatoes are over, folks, finally. They've done their run. We've still got a couple of green ones, you can see them there. Now, look, I'm going to leave those on. They won't, if they do ripen, they're going to ripen really irregularly. They're not going to have a nice uniform colour. And if the weather turns, it's because I think we've sort of at the last of the warm weather in autumn, but yet again, you know, stranger things have happened. But this is the big Malaka that I'm talking about here. I've got him tied up here. We're going to cut this off. No, we're going to cut it back here. Right back here. Extra weight, you know, an extra 10 grams you get out of that. Bear with me, I've got to untie it too now. Done a good job with this. Have a look at it. Now, that's your typical big Malaka. Really deformed, ugly looking, twisted. This has started to over-ripen. It's starting to go soft. Well, not over-ripen, but at the stage now that, yep, it is going soft. See there? It's starting to juice up. See, that's gone soft there. Nothing wrong with it going soft if you're doing it to collect your seed, but obviously, if you're doing it so you can eat it, you don't want it like that, because what's happened there now, bugs have crawled in through here, and they've started to feast on it, and that's going to decay, and the mold will start, and eventually it'll just rot out, but it won't affect the seeds. The good thing about that is the seeds actually stay intact. Okay, you know what? I'm not too fussed about the fact that it's going rotten because I'm not going to eat this one here. This one's for seed, so we're keeping this for seed. Now, I reckon I've harvested a bigger one. Give you about 5 seconds to guess what you think the weight is. All right? Now, look, I've got big gorilla hands, so I'll make the tomato look really small, right? This is a scale. Do you reckon it's over a kilo, under a kilo? I reckon, I haven't weighed it, honestly. I reckon it's probably just on a kilo. Maybe with a stem it is. Let's have a look. 949 grams. Certainly not my biggest one. I've had much larger ones than that, folks, but there you go, the big Malaka. It averages 940 grams. Well, this one does. Let's just do one more. This is another big Malaka over here. Well, there's a lot of big Malakas here. I suppose, oh, I look bigger from over there. Let's just cut it anyway. This is ready to harvest. That's got a bit of weight in it. It's smaller than the other one, but it's dense. And look at this one again now, down here. This is juicing up as well. You'd be lucky if this one weighs 500 grams. Oh, look at that. How good am I, huh? 534 grams. Still, that's a big tomato. The ones at the shops only weigh about 120. This one here, 743. We're doing pretty well. One more. I've got one more that I want to cut. And this one's been attacked already. Yeah, probably about 600 grams. All right, so that's 743. Ooh, maybe more than 600. Yeah, 660, 669. Look, I'm not too bad with my weights, eh? I can tell. I've been carrying a lot of things in my time. Anyway, folks, these are the big Malakas. I know we've spoken about them before, spoke about them many a times. And you can see they're quite different in the shape, but they all still have the same bottoms on them. That hasn't formed quite as much, but they do have that irregular sort of dimple going on at the bottom. It's like a navel, and some of them become a bit more round than others. Now, we did start the season off, and we're talking about last year with the biggest Malaka competition, obviously the biggest tomato we're talking about, obviously, and the winner goes to Brian Lay. Now, Brian Lay, as you know in the past, folks, has been winning a lot of big Malaka competitions. His tomato weighed just under 2.7 kilos. Now remember, this one here was 950 grams or thereabouts. This was about 750, so that's 1.7. This was about 660, that's 2.33. That was about 500, that's 2.85. This is 150 grams over the weight of Brian's. Now it's the same weight as Brian's. How do you like that, eh? Could you imagine that? Put all this together and that's the size, and this is dripping. That's the size of his tomato. Hey, Brian, mate, you're a legend, all right? We have crowned you the king of the big Malaka tomato growing. This is, I think, the 3rd year in a row that you've done it. Now, I think you beat last year's weight, but we'll confirm that as well. Now, for next year, look, mate, knock yourself out. I want you to outdo yourself from this year. So you've done 2.694 or something like that. Next year, you've got to hit at least 3 kilos. And mate, you'll be crowned the king of kings in the big Malaka tomatoes. But next year, folks, for those who are trying to grow, and you can see this year I haven't had the biggest of tomatoes, but still 1 kilo. 1 kilo is the equivalent to about 6 of the store-bought kilos that you get. So that is what you'll get on average between that and that there in the big Malakas. And for those out there who are growing something like this around 400, 500, 700 grams, well, next year we're going to hold a second prize, or the actual prize gift that we're going to give to everybody else. But for Brian, we'll still crown you king, mate. I want to know how you do it. You got to tell me the secrets, mate. Can you grow that in Lethbridge? What you do there in Lethbridge? Open environment, natural weather conditions, exposed to all elements, good organic fertiliser and everything you want. So the Big Malaka competition winner for this year is Brian Lay. Congrats, mate. 2.7 or just under. And stay tuned for the announcement for the next year's competition running and all the awards that we're going to give away with that as well. So check out our website, vasilisgarden.com, for everything else you need online. From me, Vasili, Aresi.